Revelation in the Wild, Survival of the Time Traveler. Chapter 1 Waking Up in the Green Fog. Yeling opened her eyes, her headache was about to crack. Surrounded by dense jungle, the moist air was mixed with the smell of soil and rotten leaves, and fine light spots sprinkled through the towering canopy. This is not the city she is familiar with, nor is it the wilderness map in the game. There were no tools, no maps, and the clothes on my body were tattered and disconnected, and I didn't even have a pair of shoes that could walk steadily. She tried to move and found that her hands and feet were as weak as newborn cubs. What's going on? How could a full-level boss who is obviously surviving in the wilderness be as fragile as a baby in this situation? She took a deep breath and tried to calm down and think about how to survive. Not far away, several figures were faintly visible. Yeling's heart was cold. This is not an island to survive, obviously there are still people. It's just that she doesn't know if these people are enemies or allies. Chapter 2 In the Foxes, there are many wolf shadows. Approaching the group of people, Yeling saw their faces clearly, a tall and thin man with a gloomy smile on his face, a red-haired woman with cold eyes and intricate tattoos on her wrists, there was also a middle-aged man wearing a shabby straw hat, his eyes wandering. None of these three looked like good people. Yeling's heart sounded like an alarm, but she couldn't show weakness. She observed silently, trying to figure out their motives. Are you awake? The red-haired woman said coldly, it's not easy to survive here. Yeling reluctantly smiled, my name is Yeling, what about you? The man laughed as if he was about to devour her, my name is Uno, this is Ellen, and Lao Fan. The three of them are cordial on the surface, but in fact they have hidden murderous intentions. Yeling knew that this trip to survive in the wilderness was not only a challenge to nature, but also a test of human nature. Chapter 3 The Mystery of the Jungle, An Adventure from the Sky. Walking in the deep forest, Yeling stumbled upon a hidden cave, the entrance of which was hidden by vines, as if there was some secret hidden in it. She sneaked inside, and there were ancient murals depicting the story of an ancient civilization. Legend has it that there is a mysterious fruit that can give humans extraordinary powers. Yeling's heart moved, this may be an opportunity for her to reverse her fate. She decided to venture deeper into the cave in search of this legendary fruit. In the depths of the cave, the air was cold, and suddenly a light flashed, and a phantom in the costume of an ancient priest appeared in front of him, who whispered, only those with a pure heart can bear this power. Yeling clenched her fists, held back her weakness, and nodded to the phantom. Chapter 4 Teaming and Betrayal. When the news of the cave exploration reached the camp, Uno, Elaine, and Lao Fan began to move with their own ghosts. Uno intends to take the opportunity to seize the mysterious fruit and become the king of the jungle. Elaine secretly contacted the mercenary organization on the other side of the jungle. Lao Fan seems to have his own more insidious plans. Yeling knew that keeping a distance from them was the best policy. So she tries to win over others, including Matthew, a hunter who has just returned from the deep forest, who is agile and cautious, and seems to be the only credible companion. After several times together to resist the attack of the beast, Yeling and Matthew established mutual trust, and the two worked together to find the mysterious fruit while trying to avoid the calculations of Uno and others. Chapter 5 The undercurrent is turbulent, and the wilderness is dead. Just as Yeling was about to get close to the legendary fruit, Uno appeared with armed mercenaries, and a fierce conflict broke out between the two sides. Elaine betrayed Uno in the chaos and tried to monopolize the fruit. Lao Fan took advantage of the chaos to disappear and pursue his deeper purpose. The forest instantly became an arena of life and death, with gunshots, arrows, and animal roars intertwined, and Yeling had to use her past experience and wisdom to survive in the wilderness to take Matthew to deal with the rain of bullets. Just when the crisis was at its peak, the mysterious power deep in the cave awakened, illuminating the entire forest, and an invisible energy was infused into Yeling's body, and her body gradually became stronger, and her perception became extremely sharp. Chapter 6 Power Awakening, Goddess of the Wilderness. Yeling is no longer the weak woman, but has become the ruler of the forest. She repelled Uno with extraordinary strength, subdued Elaine, and even sensed the secret hidden by Lao Fan. It turned out that Lao Fan was a descendant of an ancient civilization, the last person guarding this forest. In the final duel, Yeling chose to let Lao Fan go and reached an agreement with him to jointly protect the land and prevent foreign invasions. The story ends with Yeling standing on the highest peak of the dense forest overlooking the earth, and she knows that surviving in the wilderness is not only a physical battle, but also a tempering of the soul. Traveling here, she is not just to live, but to live her truest self. Chapter 7 The Forsaken Altar and Forbidden Secrets. After Yeling reached an agreement with Lao Fan, the forest seemed to be calmer, but she knew that the real test had just begun. Lao Fan took her to an ancient altar shrouded in fog deep in the forest, where legend has it that it hides the secrets of an entire ancient civilization, the source of the jungle's energy. This is the place where our ancestors sacrificed, Lao Fan whispered, and it is also a taboo. If you provoke it, the whole forest will be destroyed. Yeling's eyes swept over the stone tablets carved with runes and the altars wrapped in vines, feeling the pressure in the air extremely heavy. She reached out and touched one of the stone tablets, and the entire altar shook in an instant, and the runes glowed dark blue. Suddenly, a blurry image appeared in the center of the altar, a woman wearing ancient battle armor. Her eyes traveled through time and space to look directly at Yeling. "Are you awakened ones?" the phantom whispered. "You must protect this land at all costs." Yeling felt an invisible force injected into her body, as if she was one with the forest. She knew that this strength was both a blessing and a heavy responsibility. Chapter 8 The Storm Rises, A Conspiracy in the Jungle. While Yeling was immersed in the new power, Uno was secretly regrouping. After the defeat, he did not give up, but united with a group of more cruel mercenaries outside the jungle to prepare for a large-scale invasion and completely control the resources of the entire forest. Eileen acts on both sides. She follows Uno on the surface, and secretly connects with a mysterious organization deep in the jungle, hoping to become a true queen with their power. Yeling and Matthew try to unite the scattered tribes and survivors in the forest to form an alliance, but these people have their own positions and secrets, making cooperation challenging. Chapter 9 The Covenant of the Abyss. In the dark depths of the forest, Lao Fan quietly took Yeling to a dangerous place called the Abyss. It is said that the evil spirits of the ancient forest are sealed there, the other side of the power. The source of power is always accompanied by danger, Fan warned. To fully control this power, you must face the abyss and make some kind of agreement with the darkness within. Yeling hesitated, but in order to protect the people and forests around her, she decided to go deep into the darkness. In the abyss, she faces all kinds of visions and fears, memories of failure, self-doubt in her heart, and even the figure of a dead relative. In the darkest moment, a cold but gentle voice sounded in her ears. "Only by accepting the darkness can you control the light." Yeling struggled to finally accept this inner shadow and gained more power, but she also paid the price of a rift in her heart. Chapter 10 Bloody Decisive Battle. The army of mercenaries led by Uno is finally approaching the forest border, and a storm is coming. Yeling and Matthew united the forces of all parties and prepared for a life-and-death battle. On the eve of the decisive battle, Elaine betrays both sides and infiltrates Yeling's camp with a secret weapon in an attempt to destroy her core of power. After a thrilling chase and confrontation, Yeling finally subdued Elaine with her nimble skills and awakening power, but this betrayal caused a rift within the alliance. On the day of the battle, the blood-colored sky enveloped the earth, gunfire, fire, and roar mixed, and the forest became a purgatory on earth. The final duel between Yeling and Uno was extremely fierce, and both sides tried their best. In the end, Yeling used her extraordinary survival wisdom and strength to successfully defeat Uno and break up the mercenary army. Chapter 11 Rebirth and Guardianship. After the war, the forest gradually came back to life, and the members of the alliance returned to their own lives. Yeling chose to stay on this land and become the new guardian. She understands that this is not only the end of survival in the wilderness, but also the beginning of a new life. As a wilderness boss, she guards this primeval forest full of secrets and vitality. Late at night, she stood in front of the altar and whispered, "This is my home, this is my mission." The wind whispered in the forest, as if in response to her vows. Chapter 12 The Call of the Lost City. After Yeling became the guardian of the forest, she did not relax her vigilance. She learned from Lao Fan that there was still a lost city hidden deep in the forest, the heart of the ancestral civilization. There may be secrets that can completely change the world. Join Matthew on a quest for the city, as they traverse even more mysterious terrain, decaying rattan webs, scorching craters, and desolate plains of bones. Along the way, the two experienced all kinds of strange biological attacks and natural wonders, relying on each other, and their friendship became deeper and deeper. Finally, behind a hidden waterfall, they found the entrance to the lost city. The carvings and murals in the city show the wisdom and technology of ancient civilizations, and even the ultimate philosophy of symbiosis between humans and forests. Chapter 13, The Ancient City's Mist, Truth and Choice. Going deep into the ancient city, Yeling discovered an amazing truth. This forest is not only a natural ecosystem, but also a huge life form, and ancient civilizations used powerful energy barriers to fuse themselves with the forest to achieve sustainable survival. And that power also brings a crisis. If it gets out of control, it will destroy the entire ecosystem. Yeling must make a choice, whether to turn on this power and control the future, or to keep the forest in its original shape and let life circulate freely. At this time, Elaine unexpectedly returns, bringing with her a mysterious team that advocates using this power to overturn all rules and create a new order dominated by humans. Chapter 14 The Trial of the Inner Demon. In the face of Elaine's challenge, Yeling not only has to fight against foreign enemies, but also faces the darkness in her heart. Visions appeared in the ancient city, projecting her deepest fears and uneases, loneliness, defeat, betrayal. She struggled repeatedly, thinking about what she was fighting for and who her strength belonged to. Matthew never left her side and became her most steadfast support. In the end, Yeling came out of her demons and decided to find a balance between strength and peace as a guardian with a firm belief in the future of the forest and mankind. Chapter 15 The Final Covenant. Yeling and Elaine have a final showdown. The two engage in a thrilling battle at the altar of the lost city, where light and darkness intertwine and energy rushes. Just when Elaine was almost successful, yelling awakened the forest's consciousness of life, and the whole forest supported her as if it were alive. The vines were entangled, the giant trees roared, and the powerful forces of nature made Elaine lose her balance. The defeated Elaine was bound to the altar, and Yelling chose forgiveness and promised to help her find spiritual salvation. Chapter 16 Dawn of the Wilderness. After the war, the forest regained its calm and vitality. Yelling and Matthew lead the Alliance members to restore the damaged land and rebuild a harmonious ecology. With the tenacity and wisdom of a wilderness survivor, Yelling has become the legendary goddess of forest guardians. She knows that true strength comes from respect and resonance for life. At night, the starry sky is bright, and the pleasant birdsong and wind sound in the forest. Yelling closed her eyes and meditated on the altar, her heart full of hope and strength. Postscript. This journey through the wilderness to survive is a baptism of the soul. Yelling transformed from a weak stranger to a guardian of the forest, experienced countless lives, deaths, and betrayals, and discovered the true meaning and responsibility of power. The forest taught her that survival is not only about fighting nature, but also about reconciling with oneself and seeking inner balance and courage. This mysterious jungle is still unfathomable, waiting for more explorers. And Yelling's story will also be passed down forever in the wind and become a legend in the wilderness.